Hello, everybody. It's me, Miss Lisa Pizza, here with another story from the book. Oh, I knew that. Stories of Old Man Joe by Miss Lisa Pizza. And you can buy this book on Amazon. Would you do that for me? Well, today, the story that I'd like to read is called Old Man Joe Goes to Church. Old Man Joe Goes to Church. Are you ready? Here we go. Old Man Joe was a silly old man, the silliest old man you ever did see. Well, it seems one day, Old Man Joe was walking down the street when he saw a sign that said church. And so Old Man Joe said to himself, "Oh, I think I'd like to go to church." So Old Man Joe walked in and he said, excuse me, I want to go to church. I want to go to church." "Well," said the greeter, "you can definitely come in and go to church. Just have a seat on the pew." Well, Old Man Joe was a little bit confused, and he didn't know exactly what they meant, so he went in, and he had a seat on the pew. But before he sat down, Old Man Joe started spraying a can of air freshener he had in his pocket. Everybody started coughing and gasping and And so the greeter rushed over and said, Sir, what are you doing?" Old Man Joe said, "Well, I'm trying to make it smell good. You said it was the pew. I don't want to sit somewhere where it's stinky." Ha ha ha. And everybody laughed, and they said, "Old Man Joe, you are a silly old man. When we said it was a pew, that's the name of the church bench. That's not how it smells." And Old Man Joe was pretty embarrassed, and he said, Oh, I knew that. Oh, I knew that." Later on, they sang some songs, and the songs were wonderful. And the pastor stood up and he said, "Now, church, didn't that choir sing?" Well, Old Man Joe was enjoying it himself, and then the pastor said, "And I just love their new robes." Well, Old Man Joe raised his hand and he said, "Excuse me, sir, I just want to know, where did they get their robes from?" The pastor was a little bit confused. "What do you mean, where did they get their robes from?" He said, "Did they get them from Walmart or Kmart? Because I go to Target and I never see those kind of robes." Well, you can only imagine that the whole church laughed and laughed and laughed. Finally, they caught their breath and they said, "Old Man Joe, you are a silly old man. Those are choir robes. That's part of their uniform. That is not some robe you go buy at the store." Old Man Joe looked around at the laughing congregation and he said, Oh, I knew that. Oh, I knew that. Well, then it was time for offering. And then the offering baskets went up one row and down the next. And the people put in their offering. But all of a sudden, when it got to Old Man Joe's row, the man realized that the offering was empty. So the usher ran up and he whispered to the pastor and said, "Somebody has stolen our offering." And guess what? You're going to have to get the book to find out what happened. Remember, Old Man Joe. Oh, I knew that. Stories of Old Man Joe by Miss Lisa Pizza.